We're going to talk about Raiden's 50-50s and mix-ups. Now, Raiden doesn't have many traditional overhead and low mix-ups, one of them being 2-1 down 3 and 2-1 forward bounce cancel, and this will catch people occasionally. You don't want to use it too much, but if you slip it in there every once in a while, it can catch your opponent off guard and you can mix them up with it. Now, getting into some of the mix-ups that are harder for your opponent to block, especially in the heat of moment, Raiden has a unique way of opening people up, and it's by using his EX teleport to get behind your opponent. And the way to enforce that as a mix-up is to condition your opponent to block moves that have overheads. Like, for example, one of Raiden's strings is 3-4-3, the second being an overhead. So one of the mix-ups would be your opponent, as soon as they see the 3, would have to block back because of the overhead coming. But what you can do is you can do 3 and then immediately go into EX teleport and go into a string, and that can open him up waiting for the overhead option. So that's one of the mix-ups he has. If you happen to hit your opponent with it, you can also convert off it, so that's a plus as well. Another cool and creative mix-up that Raiden has is his 4-3 hits twice, and it's only 4-3 in the game that can be cancelled on the first hit into special moves. So because the second hit has a natural bit of delay into the second overhead part, your opponent's going to be wanting to block the second overhead as soon as they see the first chop. So you can enforce the teleport mix-up in this string as well by going for an immediate EX teleport and then hitting them on the other side. And just like 3-4-3, if you do EX teleport and you end up hitting your opponent, you can also combo and convert off this as well. Now, an additional mix-up for Raiden is moving on to his 1-1-2 back 3, which is this amazing looking string right here. This string always crosses up mid-screen as an overhead, so your opponent's going to have to be blocking the other way to block that. Now, you normally cannot do a mix-up by using the EX teleport here because you're going to be teleporting behind them. However, if you have trait active, Raiden gains an additional mix-up by utilizing his in-place teleport, which you can use to confuse the opponent and again force a side mix-up. Your opponent's going to be watching out for this part because, again, this mix-up becomes completely safe with trade out. So they're going to be wanting to block back when you teleport. But the thing is, when your trade is active, you can also confuse them and teleport in place, and they're pretty much going to have to guess left or right. Now, in the corner, Raiden's 1-1-2 back 3 will never cross up. It'll always be on the same side. So in the corner, the opponent's going to have to remember, okay, it doesn't cross up in the corner. They're going to just hold back normally. However, now you gain an additional mix-up for your opponent being in the corner, and you don't need trade for this. Because Raiden's EX teleport normally goes behind the opponent, you're not going to need to have trade to use this mix-up. You can do 1-1-2 back 3, hit them if they're blocking back, and once they start blocking that because they're conditioned, you can start doing 1-1-2 into EX teleport to catch them blocking that. Now, getting into Raiden's plus frames and frame traps, you're mainly going to be using them off his EX orb, which you need to be in trade in. And the way to use this is you shoot a projectile and then you immediately go into down back meter burn, and this will create an orb that is plus 50 up close, and if you block it after it's out for a bit, it'll be even more plus than that, into the plus 20 range. So you're able to get a lot of offense off of it. The best way to set this up is you can convert into down back EX projectile back 3, down 2 trait, and then forward 1-2 back 2 into hard knockdown. Because Raiden's forward 1-2 back 2 is a hard knockdown, during his trait only, you get a free orb activation and you can block any wake up. So because you can block any wake up, it means if your opponent decides to wake up, you can pretty much block and then punish and get a full combo. And once they start respecting that, okay, I cannot wake up now, then you're going to be able to do stuff like set up the orb, come in, go for a throw, come in for a mid check, come in and do a teleport, 50-50 mix up. You're going to have a lot of options to get something going. You're able to, of course, set this up in the corner as well by going into down back 1 EX and then doing a simple combo like this, ending in 1-1-3, which gives them enough knockdown advantage to go for another EX projectile, because your opponent, again, just like the mid-screen forward 1-2 back 2 setup, your opponent's not going to be able to wake up and hit you by the time you recover from the orb, so they're going to have to respect it. And an additional combo for hitting your opponent with like a meter burn 4-3 something, you go into down 2 trait, and set up the same exact combo with 1-1-3 ender, and then go into either offense, throws, or whatever kind of mix-ups you want to do with Raiden. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful and it gives you some creative ideas to enforce mix-ups on your opponents.